Let's go, baby. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's your boy Rico No Suave here on the Rico No Suave show. You know, I am super happy because I'm always happy to see you, and hopefully you're happy to see me. Man, you know, it's always a good day when it's time for a good episode for you guys to sit back, watch, and also comment, you know, and all that great stuff. But I missed you all. But while you're sitting back, everybody, it's story time. It's story time, everybody. And when I say it's story time, let me tell you about my trip. So I went to LA over the weekend, and I have a lot of people to be able to go through as if I accepted an award, you know. But I have to say, a lot of people that I've actually interviewed, starting off with none other than Priscilla Leona. Thank you so much, Priscilla, Beverly Pomerantz, and the whole crew. Happy birthday to you, Alberto, right? And also Beverly Pomerantz as well, too. But I was able to catch my man, Jeff Conway, the entertainment journalist from Forbes magazine. We had a great time, a great time. He has to actually set some time out and say, hey, Rico, forget about it. You from Chicago? I'll make some time for you. I said, okay, thank you so much, Mr. Conway. So I had a great time as far as with him. Matteo Rossi, Michael Matteo Rossi, the filmmaker, killing it. Now, my story time in regards to him was I went up on this hill, and you know how California is. They got hills that go up and they come down, and they're all around. So he lives up kind of up on a hill. But then there was another hill that he told us. He said, you know what? Look up there. I was like, okay, what's up there? He's like, you see that big mansion there? I was like, is that a mansion? He was like, yeah. He said, it's actually kind of like a museum. People used to go there and film all the time up there. I said, really? I said, it looks scary, though. He's like, really? He was like, yeah. I said, you ever seen that movie House on a Haunted Hill? He was like, yeah, it kind of looked like that. I said, you still want to live here? He's like, yeah, I might go and film up there, a horror film now. Now that I'm thinking about it, I said, Michael, let's go and do a clip together, my man. And I appreciate Michael Matteo Rossi. You are a good one. Also, from Grey's Anatomy and General Hospital, my man, Brett Chapin, thank you so much for actually having me to actually come to interview you as well. And everybody else, big shout out yoga instructor. Oh my God. You know, if you ever done yoga, everybody, Hey, I'll tell you later about that, everybody. But I gotta say, I sweated my butt off when I actually took this yoga class. Big shout out to Beth. Thank you so much for being a great yoga instructor as well, too. But everybody, that was my story time. Giving my thanks to everybody from LA and everybody that reached out to me as well, too. But I love you guys all. All right, you know who also I love? When it comes to podcasting or just being a host, everyone, being an actor and connecting the dots to be able to be behind a microphone and be in front of people, it's not just about acting. It's about having that passion. And we're going to talk about his passion as well, too. He is also a producer. He's also a producer producing some really great things. I'm just giving the words that we're going to talk about today. I want you guys to put your hands together, show him some love. You got a microphone, put it up there just to say hello to him. It's none other than my man. I'm going to call him Sam Forever Deva. Let's go, baby. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Rico. How are you?
I am good, sir. I am good. How you doing? Everything's good?
Everything's good. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I enjoyed hearing about the house on Haunted Hill there here in LA. I'm glad you had a great time out here.
I had a blast, man. I had a blast. And all I can say is having a blast as far as with great people like my man, Michael Mateo Rossi. Such a beautiful thing, man. Such a beautiful thing. Hey, LA showed a lot of love, but it was also really in deep conversations as well, too. So it was awesome. But welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the show.
No, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. I'm really
Yes,
excited
sir.
for this.
Yes, sir. Hey, before we get started, do you have any shout outs that you want to get out to anybody out there in the world?
You know what? I'm going to shout out to both my grandmothers. One of them's
Let's go.
feeling a little under the weather. One of them has an injury. They're both going to be okay. But
Okay.
I just want to tell them that I love you and heal up quickly.
Oh, heal up, beautiful. Heal up, because we love you here on the Rico No Suave show. And yes, prayers out to you both of the grandmas. I love grandma. Hey, do you
Me
have
too.
does your grandma do they bake any
Yeah,
sweets?
both of them. I mean, I'm growing up. We endless amount of treats, endless.
What's your favorite one?
Okay, so my grandma Dever, it was the cherry strudel she used to make, and then
Ooh,
my grandma Burks, it is pumpkin bread, and it was the
wow,
best. Still
pumpkin
is the
bread.
best. Yeah.
You know, I like strudels too, but we got them in six packs over here, right? The strudels. And having it homemade, I tell you, that is a blessing to have. That is for sure.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I don't know how much of those I'll eat now that I'm really into health and fitness as much,
Yes,
but delicious nonetheless. But when you're
yes,
when you
sir.
know when you're 7, 8, 9 years old, it doesn't you burning 10,000 calories a day running around riding your bike. It was all good.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
All right, sir. Let's get it on, man. Let's get it on. Hey, we're gonna get the easy question out the way, because when it comes
yeah.
down to you, sir, we got to start off with the easy one just to gradually get the audience into it as well. So, podcast host. So, why did you pursue to be a podcast host?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to take it back to 2012. I'm in Las Vegas and I was doing freelance video production at the time, just doing different filming for businesses and projects of my own, etc. And I was approached by somebody who wanted to create a show and film it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, huh, well, I've never done that before, but I think I could figure it out. And actually, if you've heard of the Breakfast Club, that
Yes.
that infamous show, which probably has inspired a lot of us, I literally would go on YouTube and watch how the videographer was filming them, and I went and did that for them. And I was doing that. That was at UNLV, and then
Nice.
they came to me, and they were called the Social Network Show, and then they presented me with the opportunity to go, hey, we really like what you're doing here. We want to give you a chance to have your own show. And I'm like, my own show? I'm
Wow.
like, okay. So I we'll probably talk about this here in a little bit, but that led to me starting my first show, which was called the Social Media Show. And I
Mm.
was hosting people, interviewing people. It was like 20-minute segments. And then, so I say all that to say, I then, a couple years later, then I get more into acting, and acting led me out to LA. And I had always had it in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, I love acting and other film projects, but I really do like sitting down and having conversations with people. And
Yeah.
when I came to LA, I met so many people so quickly at the acting school I went to, Playhouse West. And I'm sure you run into similar things. Like a lot of these people you meet sometimes, it's just in day to day life. And
Yes.
next thing you know, you're talking to someone for 45 minutes
Yep.
and in a parking lot of a grocery store. And then that's why it just kept nudging me. I'm like, man, I really would like to do this, but I want to do long form. And I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
I've been listening to that for years. So
Yeah.
over 4 years ago, after the pandemic had hit, acting was slowed down. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this podcast thing that I want to do. I'm just going to call it the Sam Dever Podcast, and I'm going to start with a lot of my actor friends and entrepreneurial friends, and we're just going to go have conversations. And that's what I did. I just literally started doing that. I was doing them in person at first. I had a leg injury that derailed things for a while, but then I got back on the horse, started doing them on Zoom, knocked out a bunch of those. And then on episode 50, I combined forces with, his name's Eric Sarich. He does the film and audio production for the show now.
Okay.
And we've been doing it ever since. And we just filmed episode 130.
Congratulations.
So yeah, thank you. And kudos to you too, as I was hearing your story. But no, I love talking to people. I love hearing people's story. I'm a conversationalist. I'm one of those people. I'm a pick up the phone guy.
Yes.
I don't like to text as much and all of that. I'm like, no, let's have a conversation. I'm sure everyone has those people where you go on those walks. You call that friend in the car, and you guys can talk for an hour and 2 hours. And now just the difference is, okay, when I'm talking to people, I'm like, yeah, I think I could talk to them for an hour and a half.
Easy.
So,
see how easy that is? It's easy just to pick up the phone and just talk to me. Don't get me wrong, that's cool with texting and things like that. But when there's a paragraph of a text, I don't have time to respond. Let's just pick up the phone and just say, hey, let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this subject, and go from there. I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because, host to host, right? And when it comes down to you building your confidence to be able to speak in front of people, even if it's one-to-one or when you got started, how was it naturally for you from a personality standpoint just to be able to say, hey, you know what, when I get started with this, I'm automatically knowing how to connect with people? Or did it take you some time and practice in order for you to be able to get to, being able to have guest after guest after guest and continuing with the interviews?
That is a phenomenal question. And my answer to you, it's going to be a little bit of both. Like, I definitely have always had that natural conversationalist in me. And I'm really good at asking people questions too. And part of me is like, I don't know if that's a personality defect. if I like to immediately like, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you, that type of thing. But absolutely, I was not, and I'm still working on this, but I was very rough around the edges when I was doing this. I was saying lots of likes, lots of just not as I just did an right there, not. I wasn't maybe as settled into it. Like maybe I was maybe forcing some of the conversation a little bit more instead of just letting it be what it is. And that's what I really do like about podcasting too, especially long form, like what we do. You can't get to the crux of something in 5 to 10 minutes usually. Usually it takes you 20, 30 minutes before we really start getting warmed up and into it. Yeah. So now I have learned a lot about just patience and just really letting we have a framework of where we want to go, but being open to, okay, well, this could go any direction as well if that's where the energy's going. And that's taken time for me to learn. I really, have to get that repetition in, put in those hours, and it's an ever-going evolution.
A lot of it comes with, and I like what you said in regards to that. A lot of it comes with competing with different conversations and also competing against different personalities, right? And I think one of the things about being a host is understanding someone's long answer versus short answer. Now, of course, I have to ask this question because we're in the same boat. When it comes to interviewing, did you have any guests that gave you short answers and you had to pull words out of them?
First of all, I just want to say I love this. This is like a talk show host therapy session,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Or workshop rather. No, you
Yes,
are
sir.
exactly right. And I say this, and it's not, this is no right or wrong answer. It's not putting anyone down, but there
Correct.
are some people that are a lot, I will say, they're just better at fluid conversation. Like I like to call it ping pong or tennis. It's just very back and forth, very seamless. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. And but you do have some guests, though, it is more of a challenge where maybe I'm asking a question, they give a short answer and just stop. And you as the host, you're like
Yes.
everyone's in the room, like, okay, Mr. Host. So you do, that's where the improv comes in. That's where the thinking on your feet comes in. You know, when I'm talking in interviews like that, it's more of like, okay, I am hanging on to every piece of information that's being said
Yeah.
because I know, and you know pretty early on,
Yeah.
you know in the beginning that that's how it's going to go, and that's fine because this is what we do. We
Yes.
adjust to the situation. We're the host. We steer the ship, but it's, you know, I want to stay present with them as much as possible, but I also know in the back of my mind, like, okay, they said this, this, and this.
Right.
When that dead space happens, I'll call it dead space.
Hmm.
What direction are we going to take it from here? And there, yeah,
There you
there are
go.
days where it's you got to put it. You have to be really quick on your feet with that. That's a
Yeah.
great question.
Yeah. And this is, of course, learning through humans, through conversations of being able to say, are you nervous? If you are nervous, please let me know now. I have some ice and water if you need to clear your throat or anything like that. I have a humidifier if you get if you get stopped up, I have some things for you to relax you, right? No pills though, we
Yeah.
do have just regular stuff just to help you. But I think one of the things that the reason why I asked that question is because those are some of the things that you're going to run into or you have ran into even with normal day-to-day operation, people you work with, also people that you might see on the street. Just in general, you start a conversation and they're really shy, but they don't know you and they don't trust some of the words, but they don't trust themselves to say the right thing. I think that's where it really comes down to in regards to us being, great talk show hosts to be able to talk to people and get those great conversations. Because once you got them, oh, you got them, man. You got them all day.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that because we've noticed it when we do the podcast. Some guests, it takes them a little longer than some others to warm up, which
Yep.
is fine. And some people don't do this as much. Some people are just used to it. They go on camera all the time. There's some people that maybe this is even their first time doing something like this ever. So I try to take that into consideration because we get numb to this after a while when the lights and cameras are on. But to someone else, that can be intimidating seeing those cameras and those lights. So what we do notice though a lot, people will be a lot more reserved, a lot more held back in that first 20, 30 minutes. But it is an amazing experience to watch someone just open up. When we hit
Yes.
that 30, 45-minute mark and they're a completely different person and they're
Yes.
free and they're
Yes.
flowing, the conversation's going great. So it is an art. Long form conversation, talk shows, podcasts, interviews. It is truly an art form, and it's a fun thing to watch.
Sometimes, and you said the magic word, therapy, right? And I think sometimes we can be therapists as well too for certain people that is coming on the show to talk about their journey, to talk about their passion, but they really don't know how to get it out all the way. So we ask those questions in order for them to be able to open up. As soon as they open up, it's like blossoming flowers, right? It's like, oh my God, we did it, and then at the end, everybody's high fiving each other.
Yeah,
I love it. Hey,
Well, like right now, I'm just ecstatic that you're asking me these questions. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me this type of stuff. This
let's
is great.
go.
Because
Let's go.
you sit in the seat,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Everybody, you already know my man Sam Dever. I'm about to say, I love the nickname Forever, man, because it just rhymes so well. Because it is a forever Dever. That's what it is.
I
I
love
love
that.
him. I love this guy. So we got to check in with some people because some people are checking in with us. Ty Cope is checking in. He says, "Yo, Sam Dever podcast, what's happening?"
Shout out to Ty Cope. He has been a fan since day one, and he watches every single episode. And Rico, I'm sure you have these people in your circle too.
Yes.
You cannot emphasize how important it is, especially in your beginning stages, when you have those people that
Yep.
go and watch all your stuff. They like all your stuff. They
Yes, sir.
share all your stuff. And Ty
Yes, sir.
Cope is one of those people. He watches every single episode, and I cannot thank him enough.
Keep shining, Ty Cope. Keep doing great things for my man, Sam Forever Dever. Hey, he is stay with him. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for your support with this gentleman here, man. It's very awesome. Very awesome. You know, because you have style, you have swag. You know, Beatrice Davis says he is so sweet. Sweet as when girls to swag. That's what she said.
Oh, I have not met her in person, but she is awesome as well. And thank you.
Yes, yes. We got fans already, Sam. We got fans already.
Well, I knew I had to. I had to dress up for you because I'm like, I can't go on the Rico No Suave talk show and not come proper.
Hey,
There's no way.
I'm impressed, sir. I'm
There's no
impressed.
way.
Thank you so much. There is a question though. There's a question from Beatrice and Ty. I'm gonna get to your question as well too. As well. Oh, hi, Donna Marie Bird. Thank you so much. She says hello, everyone. She's waving at everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Beatrice Davis is asking, what are some of your most memorable conversations on your show?
Oh, that's a phenomenal question. All of them have been incredible. Some that really stand out. He actually was my nerve surgeon for a leg surgery I had, Dr. Mitch Saria.
Okay.
He came on the podcast. I had what was called drop foot. And he was my surgeon that helped me. So basically, I couldn't lift my foot up. I'm really, there's a huge long story behind it, but he was a surgeon here in Los Angeles that was able to do a surgery. So now I don't have to wear a foot brace. I can lift my foot up. And he's doing medical things that very few people in the world even know about. And he came on for a conversation, and man, it was so awesome. I mean, not only to talk to someone that I had been going to for years and someone who had performed surgery on me, now they're sitting across from me
Wow.
in my apartment
Wow.
on the podcast.
Let's
It was really a surreal experience. And then we've also had a Buddhist monk. He's a former Buddhist monk.
Wow.
He was a Buddhist monk for 8 years, and he decided to leave the monastery and come back to the States. That was a ride. That episode was with Seth Monk. Incredible conversation. And man, it's really.
Let me ask you real quick, not to cut you off, my man.
Yeah.
So, the Buddhist, right? Because you're dealing with religion in your household or on your podcast, and that can get kind of like a really educated session in regards to how Buddhists are. What were some of the things that you took out from that conversation when it was over?
I really felt at peace after that conversation, really tranquil, because Seth, when he talks so, what's the word? Like at a very just soothing cadence. It's like when you listen to him, like even when I was in front, like even when I was listening to him, I felt like I was listening to an audiobook by the beach or something like that. Because, and the things he was talking about were very dense life subjects. And, you know, talking to him, like he really talked about, I mean, this is a guy who had given up all material possessions, had given up the ability to even have money. Like you couldn't even have money in the monastery. You couldn't make money. And you know what he said that was this is what I'll share with everyone. one of the biggest things he said in that conversation that really made me think is he said, it was interesting to live in an environment where, you weren't allowed to take money, try to make money off people. So the way you interacted with people came from a more pure place. Now think about that. How many interactions do we have where, and I'm not even going to call it malicious, but people are trying to get something out of it. They're trying to
Sure.
get you as a client, as a customer, and it's like, well, if I didn't have the ability to give you money for something, would you even still be my friend? So that gave me a lot of pause, and I really thought about that a lot. And just that there's more than one way to live this life. Like we're in entertainment, we're on the move, we're moving and grooving, we love to do it, but there are other ways to live and exist, and it does broaden your perspective to just the vast amount of people that are in the world living a completely different lifestyle and are extremely happy with it.
I like that. I like that. Big shout out to the Buddhists, right? That when you said calm, I was like, oh man, there it is. It's time to relax, right? Because
Yeah.
there were certain things that touches us, that registers with our head or in our mind, to be able to say, man, you know what? He just either just like he touched my soul with something that just made me feel relaxed, where that's where I actually needed to be. And that's good to have a really relaxful conversation like that, because it also just makes the conversation, in his case, it was pure, right?
Yeah.
It was pure
Yeah.
between you and him. So big shout out to him. I got to get to your boy Ty Cope. I know he's one of the he's one of the long runners here. So I got to
Yeah.
get to his question. He says, Sam, who would be one of your dream guests for a conversation on the podcast?
Okay, you guys ready for this?
Let's
There's
go.
a lot of them, but I'll give you two.
Okay.
Tom Cruise
Ooh,
and 50 Cent.
no way. Hey,
I want-
sorry. You know you got to ask them 21 questions, right?
I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, I guess that would make sense. I guess
That
I
would
just
be
said
so
sense,
dope.
no pun intended, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's like a dream for you, that you say, listen, you're on my podcast, we're going through 21 questions, okay? Just
Yeah.
letting you know that. That's hot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, because he's one of the biggest movie stars of all time.
Yes, sir.
And I have so much respect for him because, first and foremost, he's a phenomenal actor. Like, I think he's just an extremely great actor. But the fact that guy is still doing his own stunts
Killing
in
it.
his movies and
Yeah.
killing it, like you
Killing it.
said, and breaking ankles and
Man.
doing all this stuff just to make the project happen is like, man, I got to tip my hat to that. And 50 Cent, so when his music really popped off, like I was and Ty Cope's my age, so he'll relate. We were that sophomore, juniors in high school, and when he came out with Get Rich and Die Trying, that was a
Yeah.
monumental album. I mean, it sold like 10, 12 million. His next one sold over 10 million.
Sick.
But then not only what he did in the music industry, but what he's done in business.
Yes.
He's a very intelligent individual. So I think he would be a phenomenal conversation just to sit down with that guy and
Yeah.
just go deep and pick his brain on just a variety of things. Just not only art, but business.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. If you ever get 50 Cent and you need some extra questions, just I'll be part of the 21 questions. I can hook you up. Yeah, I
Send
can
them
hook
your
you
way.
Hey, one of my favorites, and then of course, before we take a quick commercial break, thank you everybody for your questions. But Carol Daugherty is actually checking in. She says, "Hello, Sam Dever." Thank
Hello,
you, Carol.
That is my significant other's mother. Hello. I hope to be in Palmdale sooner than later.
Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. One of my favorites that I hope is two people, is Anthony Hopkins. Hello, Clarice. That's number one, right? Number two is my man, Michael Douglas from the movie The Game. Him, Michael Douglas. Man, those two right then and there. I got plenty more.
Legends.
But those are like my two favorite. And, if Freddy Krueger, what is my man's name for Freddy Krueger? If he was still alive, I think he passed away. If he was still alive, I would love to actually interview him. But I guess I can interview him in my sleep now. So
not to derail us, but it is there one person that sticks out in your mind that you've interviewed that's like, man, that was a great episode?
So far, Sam Dever.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Let's go, man. We ain't playing around here, Sam.
Hey, I like you, Rico. I like you, man.
And I like you too, man. I'm telling you, it's such an honor when you actually interview other talk show hosts. The connection is just automatically is just there. But I've interviewed plenty of other people: Priscilla Leona, Beverly Pomerantz, Osiris Munier, who you actually had on the show as well too.
Osiris is one. Everyone, she's our most recent episode right now. Osiris, that is another one. That is a ride. That is a journey. Osiris and Beatrice got us connected together, so shout out to both of them. But Osiris has an incredible story. She's an amazing human being. And go check out her show, 15 Minutes to Show, because she has put in a lot of amazing work in Hollywood, a lot.
And very energetic, and for, just having, she's just the type of person that just makes your blood rush in a good way, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm just so happy that I'm talking to you. And she's just adorable. She's adorable. I love
and her. I'm sure you get this with guests too. There's times where we used to talk about this in acting class. Like you'd go into acting class, maybe you worked a long day at work and like, man, my energy is kind of low. But then you just get around all these creative people and you just get amped up. You get filled with energy, and we'd leave class like on cloud nine. And that happens with the podcast too.
Yes.
Sometimes you're a little, you're just more tired. Maybe it's been a long day. But then afterwards, I have trouble going to bed on podcast nights. I can't sleep usually because I'm so fired up from the conversation. And Osiris is definitely one of those people.
Yes. Everybody, you already know you're talking to two hosts, and you're also watching two hosts. That's me, the Rico No Suave Show, and my man, Sam Dever from the Sam Dever Podcast here on the Rico No Suave Show. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, man. And if you just clapping, just keep on clapping your hands. And hopefully you're enjoying yourself, because right now, you're going to enjoy yourself to some commercial breaks. Everybody will be back in 30 seconds.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. Flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave Show and get an additional 10% off on your first order.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You already know. Got my man Sam Forever Dever, the producer, the podcast host, and the actor here on the Rico No Suave Show. Hey, are you having a good time, Sam?
I'm having a great time. I'm having a blast. This is awesome.
Let's go, man. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Two hosts just rapping. There's just, hey, you have plenty other great things that you have done. But when you're actually a host like me, dude, we just have a blast. We got to have a blast. We got to let the whole world know. Got to let them know. We're here.
You're having a good time? You having fun?
Come on, man. Come on. Hey,
I had to ask you.
I'm having a blast.
Well, like I tell everybody about the podcasting, and I'm sure you can relate. This is the fun part. Yes. This is the fun part. And not that the other stuff isn't fun, but the other stuff is a ton of work.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as soon as we log off here, we both have to go do a ton of work on everything. But for now, we enjoy the moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you're seeing right now, everyone, is the finished product. You know, that's what you're seeing, right? And
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about it. All right, let's get it going because you already know time fly by fast when we're having fun. So, excuse me. So the Sam Dever. So let's talk about some of the greats, right? We want to acknowledge some of the greats because I know you kind of talked about the Breakfast Club, and let me know if there's any other ones that actually kind of influenced you as well too. But you know, looking at how talk shows back in the day with Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, and etc., and how they ran the show, right? Do you think that was a good setup for you to pursue also your career, or right now continuing your career as a host?
Yeah, I really like that question. Actually, a lot of why I dress the way I dress on the podcast, I always wear the turtleneck, the sport coat.
Yes, sir.
I when I first had that thought, I wanted to emulate that classic Hollywood talk show feel. So the people you mentioned, I mean, Johnny Carson, I mean, that's the GOAT. That guy, I love going to YouTube and watching those old clips with him and Ed McMahon on the couch over there. And I mean, because back then there wasn't as many shows like that. That was the show.
Yes.
Like you went on his show.
Yes.
You know, all the big time people. And then, of course, Leno and Letterman. Dick Cavett, however you pronounce his name, that's another one. Like I go back to old clips of him. And so I literally, Universal Studios is right down the road. You can see it from my street.
Oh,
I live
wow.
right by Warner Brothers as well. So
Let's go.
I actually tap into that energy from the greats that have come before us.
Yes, sir.
And I take pride in that. And, you know, yeah, I film in my podcast. We go on location, but you know, a lot of times we're filming in my apartment. And I'm like, you know what though? This is my little piece of capturing some of that era and having my time of all these amazing people. I mean, the corner over here is called like Bob Hope Corner.
Wow.
right here. Like this is where everyone lived. Like this is where they
go.
were. So to back to your question is like, yeah, I do have high respect in as much as I want to do my own thing and we're going to, you know, go with whatever the future's going.
Sure.
I do pay respect to the past and want to pull from that because there's a reason why they were so successful. They were just masters of what they did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, you know, I like vintage clothes. I like secondhand clothes. I like to go to the Goodwill, and I like to look vintage myself. And one of the biggest things about being vintage is also learning from the greats that was before us. There's always, like we call them, our instructors, our teachers, and people that we look forward to actually hoping to impress as far as them saying, hey, you're going to be a great host as well, but you need to make sure you watch my video so you can be that great host. And that's what you actually did, which is good. And I've done that as well too in order to become, you know, part of where I'm at right now and where you're at, and we're continuously growing. So I love that question because I think you're fit for it, and now it makes sense in regards to, you know, they call it the swag, you know, that's why we have the vintage swag, you know, and that's why, you know, Sam Dever podcast is so great right now. So I like that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I do pay the price in the summertime with the turtlenecks and sport coats. So just like,
sorry,
but it's worth it.
So, you know, there's something called butterfly collars. You know, Sam, I'm here for you. You know,
you know what? You may have just
hit him with the butterflies.
That might be a clip right there. We might have to clip that because you may have just inspired something with what you just said. We'll see where that goes.
Let's go. Hey, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to it's a production company called Sam Dever Productions.
Correct.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So Sam Dever Productions, I formed the LLC in February of 2022. And to put this simply, that is the company, the umbrella, the foundation of where I house all my creative productions. So I do other productions outside of the podcast, such as I'm sure we'll talk about here in a little bit, the social media show, Produce Your Passion. There's many other projects down the pipe that I want to do, but I had always had that vision that one day, I'm going to call it Sam Dever Productions, and that's going to be my thing, to produce my visions.
I see.
Bring them to life.
Yeah.
No matter what happens from it, no matter how much money is made from it, that's what I'm going to do with it.
Let's go.
And then obviously it's open if there's any opportunities with anyone that wants me to help them bring their vision to life and help them produce their stuff. That's another funnel I can do through Sam Dever Productions to help them with that as well.
So I don't want to give everybody all of the tea, the scoop, the mimosas, or whatever, they starting to say it now, but we don't want to give them everything, right? We don't want to give them meat and potatoes right now, because the production piece is just where it's at, that top level. Because we're going to talk about those other two, the social media and, what you're producing as well. But the production piece is a really great thing to actually have, because, of course, you're running a production, right? You're doing it now. And then also to be able to build services outside of that as well, too, meaning that if people want you to use your production company to actually maybe host their event or videotape or go on live with that event, that's all funneled under the production as well, too. Would you think?
You're exactly correct. And, really what I've been doing, too, is going out there and building my own projects, because it serves as a resume to show people, hey, this is what I've done for myself. I can do this for you too, if interested. If someone's checking out the podcast, they're like, man, I really like how you do your podcast. I want to do a podcast. It's like, hit me up. Let's go. Maybe it's a consultation. Maybe you bring me on just to be a producer with you and help you get it started and going. But that's one thing. Like I can't sit still.
No.
So I'm one of those people where I make my own opportunities.
Yes, sir.
And look, I'll say for better or for worse. And when I say worse, not that it's bad, but it's just like, hey, okay, I don't care if this doesn't make money over here. This is something I really want to do. I believe in it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it together. And you're always crazy. You're always crazy to people when, in the beginning of stuff, like, why are you spending all your time doing that? But the more you do it and the more it grows, and the more, people start to see the vision. But sometimes as the head producer, as the head of the company, you have to lead the way. And that's really what a lot of what I'm doing right now. It's like some people may go, man, how are you even juggling all this stuff? And I actually ask myself that question too. but I keep it in perspective, because I'm like, well, hey, this is the role I've chosen. This is what I want to do, and be a leader. And eventually people start to say, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I see what you're trying to do. But I'm one of those, like, I want to show you before I'm going to tell you about it too. Like, let me show you. So that's really what Sam Dever Productions is too. It's let me show you what I'm capable of, whether for myself or what I can potentially help you with as well.
There's the good and the bad to that. Now, the good thing is that people understand what your vision is. The bad part about it is certain people take that to cheat their way to the top, where they try and take bits and pieces without taking the whole thing and understanding what it takes to be able to build your own, let's say, for example, a podcast. They don't understand that there's time after time after time of you trying to be creative, but also you being able to connect with other people, right? And also people to be able to work with you. Right. And also for you to come up with ideas. Some people might need to understand that, it's not just, hey, I'm going to have a microphone with a laptop and then I'm just going to talk to you. It doesn't work that way. And that's kind of the bad thing, that certain people that actually have came to me and said, hey, well, how fast can I really make money with this? Or how fast can I really grow this? I'm looking to at least do this for a year. I said, that's not going to, it's going to take you longer than that, right? It's longer than what you think as well. So I see the good, and I also see the bad of that, as far as, us being in this industry of being able to make it that way as well too. Would you think?
Beautifully said. And I will add on to that. Spoiler alert, There are no shortcuts.
Bingo.
There
Thank you,
are
sir.
no shortcuts, and everything is hard work. Even when
Yes.
you're doing things you absolutely love doing, it is still a ton of hard work and
Yes, sir.
stress and all of that. The difference is, do you want to do that for somebody else or do you want to do that for yourself? And I really resonate with you with what you're talking about, because I think a lot of people come to people that have been doing something for a while and they go, well, just show me the fast, easy way to do this so I can make money right away and we can make this blow up right away. Look, there's a lot of value in having mentors, and sure, mentors can help you avoid stepping into potholes or landmines along the way. But actually, a lot of times, you need to step on that landmine. You need to trip on that pothole sometimes, because
Thank you.
that's the only way you learn. You have to get your licks in. You have to get your repetitions in, and that's one thing. And won't go too philosophical on this, but our society, I heard someone say we're becoming a microwave society. Everything's instant. Attention spans are shortening. People want it now. They don't want to work for anything. It's like, give it to me now. Let's get rich quick. And it's like, it doesn't work that way most of the time.
I like Rick James. He says, give it to me, baby. I understand, right? But it doesn't work that way in this industry, everybody. Listen to what Sam is saying. Hey, because the words are forever that you're going to have to trip. You're going to have to trip and fall, and you're going to have to struggle and go through those obstacles. But if you learn from someone like Sam and myself, we will be able to teach you how to be able to stay consistent with being able to be successful with that. Sam, man, I'm just so glad you're here.
Oh, I'm so glad you said you love Rick James, because I love Rick James.
Let's go, man.
I love Rick James, man. He's one of the most talented artists and music producers I think of all time. Like, that guy was, man.
Of all time. Hey, Sam. Hey, I want you to sit back and relax. I got some things to say. We're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
But everybody, it's my man Sam Dever here with us. Let's go to this next segment. This segment here, everyone, is all about the Oscars. Everyone, the Rico No Suave show is part of the press now for the Oscars. So now we have more stars tapped in to present at the 97th Oscars. Dave Bautista, Harrison Ford, Gal Gadot, Andrew Garfield, Samuel L. Jackson. This is the way I talk. Margaret Qualley, Albert Rohrwacher, and Zoe Saldana, Rachel Zegler. The Oscar is set to air live March 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. PT time. Yeah, you already know, on ABC and Hulu. Man, make sure you go ahead and watch the Oscars, everyone. And yeah, we got more information in the back in regards to the nominees and all of that great stuff here on the Rico No Suave show. But yes, make sure you guys tune into the Oscars this Sunday, March 2nd, ABC and Hulu. All right, everyone, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in 15 seconds.
Every year, 800,000 children are reported missing. That's one child every 40 seconds. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Right now, there are 483 missing children cases still open. Your card donation can help keep kids safe and bring missing kids home. Donate your unwanted card today. Fast, free pickup, 24-hour response. Plus, you'll get the maximum tax deduction.
Call 800-723-2013.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You already know I have my man Sam Forever Deva here on the show with us. Sam, man, you know, we down to our last minutes of fame, but I got to get this out because there's some things that I do want to talk real quick in regards to how you talked about acting, the acting piece. And that also helps with presence when you're in front of the camera, which also helps the podcast as well, too. How did you develop yourself in regards to becoming that actor?
So my acting journey began in Vegas when I was living in Vegas. Shout out to Ogino of the web series For a Fee. I had met Ogino through a different project. I had actually interviewed him, and I will never forget this. I think it was Thanksgiving 2017. He sent me a message that says, hey, I wrote this web series and I have a role I think you can play. Are you interested? I'm like, yeah, send it over. And next thing you know, I'm got this scene and this role and this part. And First time ever looking at a big monologue. And I had done arts and entertainment and been on camera and stuff, but I had never done like real acting where you're getting a script and here's your lines and yada, yada.
Yeah.
And it was that first scene I did in that web series where they call it the bug. I caught the acting bug. I'm like,
Nice.
I don't know what that was, but give me more.
Right.
So I went to acting school in Vegas. Shout out to Daryl Morris of Actors Dynamic, which led me to move, gave me more motivation to move to Los Angeles, where I went to Playhouse West out here. And Playhouse West is a phenomenal acting school, world class, and they teach the Meisner technique. And with Meisner technique, you're not worried about like, let me just blurt my lines. I'm going to wait until this person says something, then I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. It's like, no, you're listening to what that person's saying, letting that hit you, and then you respond. So I'm tying this into podcasting and interviewing. A lot of times people aren't really listening to people. They're just letting that person talk because they already know what they're going to say, and they just blah, 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 blah as soon as that person's done talking. But what acting combined with the interviewing, what it's done for me, it's really given me that patience and ability to listen.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of that from Playhouse West, and then had moved that over to my podcast, because my podcast, it's a lot of listening. And there's times where you know, and I let the guests go. I tell them that too. If they're on a roll, well, I'm not going to stop them. Like, go. And we usually get a lot of good social media clips out of that too, because they're in their flow state. But
yes, sir.
You know, a lot of times, you know, if I keep interrupting them, or I'm speaking over the top of them, or maybe they said something really pivotal, and I just had my mind on this one question I wanted to ask them, and I'm like, well, dude, they just told you they are Tom Cruise's cousin.
Yeah.
And you're not going to ask them about that? That's me not listening. Right. So I hope that answer gives you perspective on that question. But because the acting, it really taught me to be patient and to listen and to really put my attention on the other person and get out of my own head.
I think one of the biggest things about what you just said was kind of you're connecting the dots of how you became that podcast host from acting. There's similarities in regards to that. You listen, you understand, then you react, right? In regards to giving your answer or your opinion, right? And that's what makes you great, right? Because you understand that I've learned this somewhere else, and then now I'm able to use this in front of real life conversations. But you know what that teaches us also is respect and discipline. That's through our normal conversations. Like, because I love letting people just, okay, go ahead and talk. Let me hear you. And then I might have something in my head. Then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, man, I can't wait to get this out because I really want to say, and I hope I don't forget. And they say something else. And it might throw it off. But I got to make sure I keep that there, right? Because it's
absolutely,
it's going to make it even better. So, yeah.
And can I add on to this? One thing
sir.
I'll add on to everyone watching and listening.
Yes.
Practice this. The next time you're in public, at the grocery store, at the bank, in line, put your phone in your pocket and start a conversation with the person next to you. This is outside of podcasting and acting. These experiences and these one-on-one things are at our fingertips at any given time. But the thing is, in our society now, is we're all on these things all the time, the phones, that we're not really paying attention to anybody. So just really just working that muscle of being present. I mean, there's beautiful moments surrounding us at all times.
I like that. I like that. All right. It's almost over. And I really don't want it to be over because time is right now is not on our side, my man. Not on our side. When it comes to social media, we know social media is taking over the world. It's all about viewers. It's all about, you know, what type of image that you have on your platform or you as a person. Let's talk about the social media. So social media, you were working on a project for social media for your production. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the project is the Social Media Show. And I mentioned it earlier in the program. So this is a project, shout out to Vegas Wayne, Asia Jade, and my brother Matt.
Let's go.
We were doing this back in 2000. I started it around 2012, 13-ish. And then we were doing it through that 2013, 2014, 2015 range, etc., where we were going around interviewing people, anything and everything about social media. Now, this is before social media was really what it is now. Now people don't think twice about social media. It's just they use it. But
Right.
this is where it was a new thing, and people didn't really know what it was. It was exciting. So we really dove into interviewing all these people, social media experts, tech experts, went to different conferences. We went on the Las Vegas Strip and interviewed a lot of people. And, you know, we've built that YouTube channel up, and we're still getting views and people commenting. And as of late, I'm calling it getting the band back together for a
Nice.
reunion tour. We're just like, yeah, you know, let's revamp this. What are we going to do with this now? So and it's a tremendous group I work with that. So yeah, we're gearing up to Asia Jade and Vegas Wayne are the hosts, and my brother and I are more behind the scenes producers on it. But we're about to get that up and going again, and we're excited what direction that can go, because now that social media is no longer this new thing, it's everything now. So
Yeah.
we're excited for it.
Congratulations, sir. And congratulations to the team as well, too. Hey, continue to do great things on that, because, you know, social media is here and everything is about social media. So that actually fits into where you guys were pre-planning for the boomers on social media as well, too. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, no,
Now,
thank you so much.
We talk about passion, right? What is that? It's something that's within the heart. It's within the soul. But you got something that's a project that's coming up that you want to produce. Passion. Talk to us about that.
Yes, this is the perfect cherry on top for our conversation.
Yes, sir.
Produce your passion.
Ooh-wee.
This is a concept that birthed. I saw almost even a year ago. I was in a speaking program and going through training, working with a coach, and with speaking. Okay, you're going to speak, but what are you going to talk about? And I'm like, well, I knew I wanted to do something with arts and creativity and overcoming obstacles. But I'm like, what do you call that? I'm like, what have I always done? I'm like, well, at heart, I'm a producer. I make stuff happen. And I'm like, okay, I'm a producer, but what am I producing? I'm like, well, I'm always passionate about these things. And next thing you know, I put together, produce your passion. Produce your passion. So from that, I wrote this whole speech. And after I wrote the speech, I'm like, man, this is way more than a speech. This is my life mantra, because I literally have lived my life for the last 15, 16, 17 years, of regardless if I had money, didn't have money, had resources, no resources. I had the mindset to make whatever that vision was inside my head happen. And that's what you do as a producer. As a producer, if you're like on a Hollywood movie, they're going to say, hey, here's our budget, here's our timeline, go. Make it happen. Find the people. Chop, chop. That's what I'm doing. So I wrote a book. I have a talk with it. I'm going to do a podcast with it as well. I would love to have you come on that, because you're obviously a producer of your passions.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do a bunch of stuff with it. There's video content. Right now, there's a splash page up at produceyourpassion.com. You can join the email list, but we're going to be launching that website, the book, all of that very soon. And now I'm really starting to put it out there, because Produce Your Passion, I think, to sum up this entire conversation and everything we've talked about, that's what I've always done. And it's aimed at two groups of people. It's for the people that they feel something inside of them. They dream about it. They fantasize about it. They talk about it, whether they want to be an artist, a filmmaker, start that business, try a new hobby. Maybe they want to do gardening. Maybe they want to be a world traveler, but there's something holding them back, whatever it is. And I talk about the three main obstacles, which is financial, mental, and emotional. Yeah. I want to help you get over those blocks so you can become the most authentic version of yourself. And I'm also talking to people who maybe are already doing it, but as you and I both know, it's very hard. And we get stuck. We get roadblocks. We get burnt out. So I want it to be a resource in a community where people can go to get inspired, so they can go make their visions happen. Produce your passion.
Let's go. Let's go. You know, the passion, the vision, the emotions, the struggles, the words, all of that is all about producing within this world. And I think you're going to be very successful with that. And I'm more than happy to support that all day because I understand about producing the vision and with my team and everyone that actually understands that vision. But producing that passion is a good thing. So we produce some things around here called gifts. There's things that we produce around here. And you are a gem of the world. And this is for you.
Oh,
So
sweet.
by you being on the show today and showing how you producing your passion, we're going to give you this shirt because you are a gem of the world. Now, the reason why we give this is because you have always been on a road of being in front of people with great conversations, but also being able to listen to people and being able to react to them as well, too. But then also, it comes with the swag. It comes with understanding our pioneers, and understanding the instructors that that teaches us how to move forward with things that we love. But you're also humble enough to be able to give people a platform to say, hey, I want you to understand that the people that I bring on this show here is for you to learn, for you to enjoy, and for me to be able to give great conversations and also questions for you guys to be able to say, I never thought about that as well too. So my man Sam, forever Deva, you always going to be forever on the Rico No Suave show, family. Yes, sir. This is for you, sir. This is for
Rico, thank you so much. This has been a blast. You are a phenomenal host. I can't say enough about your professionalism, just how on point you are. It's been a great experience just being on the other end of the stick and seeing how you guys do things. You guys are top tier. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in LA.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna be getting you a Produce Your Passion t-shirt as well. So I can't wait.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, my friend.
My man, Sam, we got to put up your social media because we want people to know how they can find you. So everybody, this is the first one. You already know, at the Sam Dever Podcast. And you probably saw also for Instagram that there is Sam Dever for Instagram as well too. So make sure you go to either one, Sam Dever. You can do that one first. And then, of course, follow him on the Sam Dever Podcast. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah, it's the same thing. YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, everybody, at the Sam Dever Podcast. Please make sure you go ahead and do that. There is a fan page, and that's on Facebook. Yes, make sure you please go to Sam Dever fan page on Facebook. Like and love everything he's doing. All right, his is formerly known as Twitter. It's X right now, right? Sam Dever, make sure you go ahead and follow him. Last but not least, I think we got one more, and it is the website, www.samdever.com. Hey, Sam, I had a blast with you today, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we love you here on the Rico No Suave show.
Thank you so much, Rico. I had a terrific time. You're a phenomenal host. I love you too, and I look forward to building with you, man. This is really special. Thank you so much.
This is just the beginning, sir. Just the
beginning.
Everybody put your hands together for none other than my man, Sam Forever Deva. Let's go. Yeah. All right, Sam, I'll see you later, my man.
See you later, Rico.
All right, everybody. We got to get out of here. You already know I had such a great time as far as with my man, Sam. It's good to be able to talk from talk show host to talk show host. John T. for free, thank you so much for actually tuning in. I appreciate you. I saw you. I didn't forget about you. And thank you, Donna Marie Bird, for the awesome comment. But we got to put up our social media, everybody, before we get out of here. You already know. It's our website, www.riconosuaveshow.com. Oh, yeah. Make sure you go ahead and check us out there. Here's the next one. Instagram. Yes, please go and follow us on Instagram, The Rico No Suave Show, everybody. Here's the next one. Facebook, The Rico No Suave Show. Go ahead and like and love. Go right ahead. This one is important. YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to build everybody. Subscribe, and love what we're doing there. And we do have Mixcloud. Mixcloud turns into a podcast, everybody, so you can hear the audio between me and my man Sam. So make sure you please go ahead and check us out on the Rico No Suave show. And last but not least, there's Red Coral. Yes, Red Coral. It will be something that you can subscribe to and also watch our past episodes as well, too. Everybody, we got to get out of here. We want to thank you guys so much for being on the show with us today. We hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And, hey, if you're in the need of something with production, make sure you go and check out my man Sam and also continue to support us here on the Rico No Suave show. Until next time, everybody, as we end off the show, just like this.